Hello. We're going to talk about perimeter and area, area and perimeter. So the perimeter is the outside, the border of it. The area is the inside. So if I want to fence something in, I would use the border of it. Okay? So that's going to be the perimeter of the outside. On this shape, I'm missing a couple lines, a couple portions of the perimeter. I'm missing one here and one here. These are for unknowns. How do I figure that out? Well, if I know that all of this here is 12, and I know that this part here is 9, what plus 9 is going to give me 12? 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. That's 3. So this portion here is 3. I just said 3 plus 9 is 12. Do the same thing with this one here. I know this is 17. So I know up here is 7. Up here is this portion is 7. What's this rest of it? What plus 7 gives me 17? That's 10. So that would be 10. Let me take away those so you don't think they're times. Just marking those. So now I have all of the things I need to add up. I have a 7, a 3, a 10, a 9, 17, and 12. So let's add them all up. I like to add them up so I don't confuse them this way, just going in a circle. So what you do is you go 7. I mean, some people choose the bigger numbers first and cross them out. We can do that. Okay, whichever you need to do, just adding them all up. But crossing them out will help you figure out what you need to keep and what you have left, what you have already done. So I have 7, 3, 10, 9, 17, and 12. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's all of them. And you cross them out if you want. And I'm going to add those all up. So it's a lot here. Combine them. 7 and 3 gives me 10. 0. Well, 0 and 7 gives me 16. And then I have a 2 left over. 0 I can't do anything with. 0 plus 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay? Now what do I have? But look here. I did something kind of difficult. Sorry about that. I have a 10 here. That 10's got to go back into this group of 10s. So I have to count that 10. I have to count that 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 58. Okay? Let's try it by grouping automatically while I'm doing it. What I mean by that is I'm going to combine these terms. I go 7 and 3, 8, 9, 10. 10, that's easy. 9 and 7, 9 and 17. I can count those up. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 and 12. 0, 0, 6 and 2. 6 plus 2 gives me 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Way to do it, check your answer, is to subtract all the numbers. But that's figuring out the perimeter. So the perimeter is 58 what, though? It's going to say centimeters or inches, but it's going to be tricky in an answer. Watch for this in the answer, the questions, in the answers, I should say. If it's centimeters, it's going to be centimeters for perimeter. Don't let this trick you. Squared, when you have a little 2 there, that means squared. That means it's a square. It's a area. A square. I can't do that. Okay? So you're not going to have it. You're just going to have the centimeters, 58 centimeters. Okay? So that is for the perimeter. Now let's talk about the area. I wish I had, I don't have, nope, I don't see one. I'm looking for a wipe. So I have two buildings here. I have a building this way and a building this way. It's however you see the buildings. I'm going to need to combine these buildings. So I have a building this way, or I have a building this way. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it this way. We'll show you the other way in a minute. So I need the area, the length times the width. Area equals L, length times width. Okay? So I have 7 and I have 12. 12 times 7 gives me 14, 7, 8, 84. So that's 84 over here. Now I have 10 and 9. Well, 10 times 9, it's an easier one, is just 90. 10 times 9 is 90. And I add those up. Get some room here. Okay, I'm going to add those up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 9 plus 8 is 17. And for this one, I would do centimeters squared. Okay, centimeters squared. So that was 84. This was 90. And I just add those up. So that's that way. Let me show you the way if we did the other building. I really got to get a wipe. Sorry for the spit time here. Now let's see it this way. This way. Now I have a building here and I have a building here. So I take the length times the width. 7 times 3. Well, 7 times 3 is 21. So this is 21. Okay? So I look for here. 17, the whole length, times the width is 9. So 17 times 9. Okay? 7 times 9. I'm drawing a blank on 7 times 9. But I know 7 times 6 is 54. And that's 1 off. So just add 9 to 54. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. 63. Go to your numbers you know. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. 9 times 9 is 9. 9 times 1, excuse me, 9 times 1, get that straight, is 9 plus 6. 9 plus 6 is 15. What do I do with those numbers? I add them up. 153 and 21. 4. 1 times 1 plus 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus nothing is 174. So that's area and perimeter. Sorry about that. A horrible number there. 174. So that's area and perimeter. That's one problem. We'll work on other ones just a second. See ya. Hello again. So we're going to work on a real world question that they give you a story, a real world situation. So Johnny wants to fence in his basketball court. I want to know the total fencing he needs. So it doesn't really tell me area or perimeter. Well, I know he needs to fence in his basketball court. So would it be area, perimeter, or area? Well, I want to fence in my basketball court. So that's obviously the outside of it, the border of my basketball, not the inside. Okay? So that's going to be the perimeter that I'm looking for, not the area. These are the type of problems. And I know my length is 10, and I know my width is 5. So it's going to have all the way around. You're not going to fence in part of it. They may even say, this is what it is. Well, I know that I'm not going to fence in just this. I'm going to fence in the whole thing. So this is the same as this. These are together. They're the same length. 5 is the same length. Okay? 5 feet, 5, hopefully it's not 5 feet. Small court. So I'm going to add all those up because I'm with the perimeter. Okay? You can do any combination you want. 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5. You could do these two. What's 10 plus 5? 15. Well, it's the same thing over here. So what's 15 plus 15? 5 plus 5 is 10. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 30. But what? If it's yards, YD is short for yards. This is going to be a possible one again, yards or yards square. Which one is it? Is it 30 yards or 30 yards squared? Which is it for a perimeter? I want the outside, the total of it. I don't want all this on the inside. Okay? So it's definitely going to be perimeter. It's going to be 30 yards total that I'm going to fence in. So let's take it for the other one. Say he wants to, let's use the area. Say he wants to pave a basketball court, new basketball court. Got everything fenced in. Okay. I know my length of my basketball court is 10 yards. Okay, short. I know the width is 5. Okay? So, what do? I want to figure out all this area, the surface. Let's say surface. We use that in class a few times. It's the surface of this. So I'm going to say that there's all the way across, there's 10. Don't count, this ain't 10. Okay? And across, there's 5. Don't count, that ain't 5. So I'm going to multiply 10 times 5. Well, 10 times 5 gives me 50. So there's 50. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's going to be 50 centimeters, excuse me, yards, very small centimeters. Yards, YDS, yards, and that's going to be squared. Because that's the small portions. There's 10 across, there's 5 up and down. Okay? Rows and columns. Okay? So that's going to be 50 squared with that little 2 up there. A little sloppy, sorry about that. But that is the difference between perimeter and yards. Okay? You're either going to multiply with area, or you're going to add everything with yards. All right. Here we go. Here's another one. I have a garden, and I know that the width of my garden is 10. I know that the area of the garden is 250 yards squared. Let's just put yards and yards squared. A little 2 up there. Okay? I want to know what the length of my garden is. Well, I know that garden, I know that my width is 10. I know that everything is, the whole thing is 250 yards squared. This is yards. How do I figure out my area? How did I figure out my area? What's the formula for area? I'm okay. The video's fine. I'm just giving you a little bit of time to think. It is length times width. Gives me area. Area equals LW, length times width. So my width is this. What is my length going to be? Well, what times 10 gives me 250? What can I multiply times 10? Well, if I said, let's just say I don't know it offhand. Some of you just are shouting it out right now. 10 times 10 is 100. That's still 2 less. Well, let's go 20. 10 times 10 is 100. 20 times 10 is 200. Ah, we're getting close. So what about 30? 30 times 10 is 300. No, too much. What about somewhere in the middle? 25 yards. Well, when I multiply anything times 10, I just add that 0 in, which would give me 250 yards squared. That's yards squared. Okay, so it would be 25 yards. That would be, let's just say that same type of problem. Let's just say it's my perimeter. It's my perimeter. That's going to be a different answer. Don't give it, because I saw some of your work this week's, and you guys use the same kind of formula, not the same thing. My perimeter, the total of everything added up is 250. My width is 10. My width is 10. I add. Well, I know that 10 plus 10 is 20. I know my total is 250, so I got to take that away. I got to take 20 away from 250 because that's my total of it. I'm going to take it away. Subtract. 0 minus 0, 0. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 2. Okay? So 230. So it's going to be 230 between the two of those. I want to know what each of them are. So if I know that two of them together are 230, I need to know what each of them are. So that's half of it for each of them. So I'm going to divide by what? By 2. So I go, this is what we got to work on. I'm going to put a video up here too about that. 230. I got to write that 2 better, sorry. 2 goes into 2 one time. This is, parents, if you're watching with them, this is important. Some are struggling with simple division like this. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, bring the next number down. 3. 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2, we do the same thing. Subtract, I get 10. This 2 into 10 is 5. And that kind of makes sense, because half of 200 would be 100. Half of 30 is 15. So I know that my length would be 115 yards. Okay? I'm going to show a quick little video here with this division, because I think that's some struggling issues with students, that they have to know that and got to work on that. That would be a key thing to work on, parents. So give me a moment, and I'm going to come up with a problem. Thank you very much. See you in a second. All right, I'm back. Let's go over a couple quick division problems. This was stuff we're struggling with. We got to build on that. So I have 7 into, let's start simple, 14. 7 can't go into 1. Okay? 7 can go into 14 twice. 2 times 4, excuse me, 2 times 4. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract, I get a 0. There's nothing to bring up. There is no remainder. Don't bring a remainder up. Some of you students get a little confused about that. You'll put a 0 and you'll put 0 or 7. It's just 2, because 2 times 7 is 14. So let's do one with a remainder. So I have 6 into, I'm just going to say 271. Okay, let's try that. 6 can't go into 2. So what do? Put a placeholder, because it has to be a placeholder. Can't put the answer there for the next one. 6 can go into 27. 6, all you're doing, you got to multiply, students. How many times this goes into here? Not over it, closer to it. 6, 12, 18, 24. So it's 4 times. Same thing we did before. 4 times 6, 6 times 4 is 24. I subtract. 7 minus 4, 5, 6, 7 gives me 3. Bring the next number down. 31. 6 into 31. How many times does 6 go into 31? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. I subtract. Same thing I've been doing. Now I have a remainder. I bring it up. It's 1 over this number, okay, over 6. So it's just 45 and 1/6. That's a 45, I promise you. Okay. 6 and 2, can't. 6 and a 27, 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract. Bring what? The 1 down. I have 30 because I subtracted out of 3. Bring the 1 down, 31. 6 and a 31, 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract. Bring that down. Bring it up, I should say. That's going to be your new numerator. That's what's left over. We don't do really remainders anymore. Put R1. We got away from that. So we got to give you one more problem. That's with fractions, and we'll give that to it right now. All right. So here we go with fractions. Not that scary, promise you. Most students do not like fractions. It's okay. So we're going to figure out the area of this. Okay, area. So I have what? I have 7 and 3/10. I'm going to figure out the area. So I have to have, let's say it's yards again. Since I'm multiplying, I got to have that yards squared. Okay, so it's 7 times 3/10. I go 7 times 3/10. All I do is multiply this times this. The whole number times the numerator. 7 times 3 is what? 21. And I keep my denominator. This is also where division is important. They may say pick all that are correct. That is a correct answer. But it's also greater than 1. We call it greater than 1 now, parents and your guardians, because we don't call it improper anymore, because it technically is a number. It's not improper. It's not wrong. It's just greater than 1. So I'm going to divide again. I'm going to divide this problem. I have 10 into 21. 10 goes into 10 can't go into 2. Can go into 21. 2 times 10 is 20, with a remainder of 1 over 1/10. So that's an answer, 2 and 1/10, and that's an answer, 21 over 10. They have to know both of those. So that would be, and remember, it's going to be yards squared on both of those. Okay? Squared somewhere there. Okay. I hope these problems help you. Please watch it. Watch it again. If you don't like my silly voice and it's annoying with you, students, you know, there's thousands of other videos. Please go out there and explore your math.